So the end. Okay, so if I check the new person, so the entire person along with this another property called mother, okay, it's going to spread it. See, you'll get an error. So you can't spread object inside an array. Okay, make sure. So what type of data type, what type of data you're trying to spread it. Okay, because array is not a kind of keys and values. It's not an iterable. So array is an iterable basically. So array should expects a values only. So it doesn't expect any keys and value pairs. Okay. So make a note of these things. Of course, spread operators works, but on which scenario, on which data, so on which data type, so we know we want to use. Okay, make a note of all these things. Okay, spread operator. Next, so you can do the same thing. Okay, so you can spread fruits. Yeah, we already done this, right? You can spread fruits and along with, so we have an additional element for an array. Next, rest pattern and parameter. Okay, so I'll give some definition for spread operator. It takes all the other elements in the array which mm, variable mapped to them. And then maps it, uh, map it to rest variable. Okay. Next, we'll see about rest pattern and parameter. Rest pattern and parameters.
Sir,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah, yeah.
Sir, he is told that it can't put the object inside array or what, sir? It can't.
Yeah, basically, what is this person? It's an object, right? Basically, I'm spreading an object properties inside an empty object. Observe here. So this curly brace is an object, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do not you can't able to spread an array inside an object or what do you call it? So an object inside an array. So it doesn't work. Okay, if you're spreading an object, so try to spread inside an object. If you're spreading an array, try to spread inside an array only.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, same data types. So different data doesn't work here. Const. So we'll use any one of these things. Okay, I'll use country variable. So we have an array. So country array. So what is basically I'm trying to destructure it. Can you now tell me const. So how to destructure left side of the equals operators I'm going to provide so square brackets. I'm destructuring array. So inside the variable a I'm planning to store India. Inside the variable b I'm planning to store Italy. So remaining as it is. I'll copy this array or you can put in country as it is also. Okay, now we observe a comma b. So inside the a we have India, inside the b we have Italy. But how about the remaining, the rest of these elements? Where do we gonna store it? Okay, so there we have one more important called rest pattern. See, after put comma, so if you use three commas left side of the equals operator, it is a rest pattern. The same three dots right side, it's a spread operator. Left side of the equals operator, three dots is a rest pattern. See, 1, 2, 3. So how to store a multiple values in a single variable? Using array, right? So I'll put a given and variable others. Others. So go and check. So others is another array having USA, UK, and Australia. Okay. So if you use three dots left side of the equals operators, it is a spread of rest pattern. If you use three dots right side of the equals operators, it's a spread operator. The same, the both are look similarly, but at what position I'm using and what point I'm using makes a difference. Understood? So if you collects, so whatever the whatever the unmapped variables, it collects into a single array and it stores inside a variable, others variable. Will collect all the remaining elements, rest of the elements. So that's the names, rest of the elements. It collects all the rest of the elements and stores in others variable. Rest pattern is used to map all the remaining elements in the array that have not been mapped to the rest variables itself. It's like gathering. So what is left behind? What are the things that we have left? So these three elements, right? Okay, and rest variable must always be the last. See, the rest is always last. See, you can't able to do the rest US UK and you can't able to store Australia in another web. It's not possible. See, after if you put, see, it doesn't works. It will throw error. Okay, so the rest is should be always at the last position only. So you can destructure it, but at the last you should use a rest. Understood? Okay, now
Sir, using dot beside others is must, sir.
come again.
Using dot in 123 line. Yeah, using dot is must, sir, beside others.
Yes.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ others ಪಕ್ಕ ಮೂರು ಡಾಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ.
ಹೌದು, it's a syntax.
Okay, sir. Okay.
It's a syntax. How does it knows? So if you're not using,
Okay.
so others will get USA. It's like a variable, right? So how does it knows? So definitely it's a syntax. Three dots is a syntax.
Okay. ಅಂದ್ರೆ unmapped variables ನ ಡಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು others
Unmapped variables nalla it will stores inside another variable
Okay.
as an array.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thanks.
Okay, rest parameter is to map all the remaining elements in the array that have not been mapped to the rest variable itself. So the rest variable must always be the last term. Last. So otherwise, if you're using the rest pattern at in between, so it will throw syntax error. Okay, so there's something. So where does this really works? So where practically we are using this spread operator and rest pattern. Okay, so let's see this. So I have an array. So const num is equal to. So we have a list of numbers 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically. Okay, I want to pass this array as an argument. Can we pass this array as an argument for a function? Yes. Function arguments can take anything, right? So even function can also take another function. We call callback function. We already seen all these things, right? So basically this function prints the number as it is. Okay, so how to print the number? So I'll use a for loop, right? So I'll call this function print num. So I will pass num as it is. Okay, so I will receive as numbers here. Okay, since index of the array starts with 0 and I should iterate it less than the length of the array, right? So what is the array now? Num or numbers? Numbers. See guys, I am passing num as it is, but what is the parameters receiving the array? Numbers, right? See, argument passing is num. Of course, whatever the value stored here, I'm passing it here. But what I'm receiving inside a function as a numbers. What is the parameter? It's an input to the function. Whenever it receives the value, so the numbers becomes array. So now tell me, until what point we need to iterate? Numbers dot length. See, passing argument and parameter is most important. Next, I plus plus.
Sir,
Mhm.
num and numbers are always equal, na?
See, what is the value stored inside the num? It's array. Okay, basically, technically, you're doing this. Okay, now, so this array will be stored as inside this number variable parameter, right? So parameters means input to the function. So now the numbers will is equal to this array. So numbers dot length means so array dot length, right? So here I am planning to print numbers of I. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Understood? So here my plan is
Sir, you should type the num, right, sir? You should type the numbers, sir, inside the function. Print num, parentheses, you should type num, right? You wrote numbers, sir.
at what line number?
Function print num.
Here.
Yes, sir.
So what is parameter? What is parameter? Parameter is an input variable for the function. These parameter I can able to only access inside the function, right? Okay, see guys, I don't know why you're making so much of confuse. Cut it, remove it, make it simple. Now tell me, what is numbers?
2, 3, 4, 5.
What is numbers?
2, 3, 5.
It's an array. Just observe, it's an array, not 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an array of 2, 3, so array of elements, array of numbers. So I will receive array of numbers. So technically here numbers is equal to what? 2, 3, 4, 5. Array of 2, 3, 4, 5. Understood? So what is the parameter, guys? I explained in the function what is a parameter. This is an input to the function, right? So I am passing an argument value. So but I am receiving as an numbers. Inside a numbers variable, it's going to store. I can use this variable everywhere, anywhere in my code, right? Inside the function. Now tell me, what is A and B? You pass an argument.
2 comma 3.
Hmm. How do you say it's A is equal to 2 comma 3? A and B.
2 comma 3 is first and second place.
Yeah.
So A and B is first and second.
A will takes the value of 2. Here is also. So the numbers will takes the value of array.
Okay, sir.
Sir, you
Understood.
declaring the global variables as array, sir.
Yeah, what makes the difference? So what is global variable? This variable I can able to access anywhere in my code.
They are confusing with the variable name, sir.
So don't be like
Why not using the variable name as similar in functions and declaring the variable name?
that doesn't make sense. So the language so you should not duplicate the same variables. That's the issue. But I can use a variable, I can pass it as an argument, right? What makes the difference
Yes,
here?
sir.
What makes the difference here, guys? Understood?
Variable name, they confusing, sir. Const number equals to argument.
Mm-hmm.
But in function, we're using the parameters, full name of number.
See, both are different variables. Num and numbers are both are different, right? Oh, okay, I'll make it to x and y z.
Why can't you use the same name, sir, in parameters and the functions, sir?
You can use it, no issue. You can use it because parameters only for the input of the function. So this is whatever the num, so it's a global variable. I can able to access anywhere. Understood?
By declaring, we use any name, but in
Yes.
function also, we use the different names also, sir.
See, the global variable you can declare with any name, but inside the function, so you can also declare any variable, no issue. You can also use x because that variable is only available inside the function.
Okay.
Understood? So because see, so this variable, so the x variable is globally available. I agree, but so even if I can have another variable with name x inside this function. So now tell me, inside the function, if I look for x, console log x, which one is going to print? Either array or this 10. 10 because,
Inside the function, sir.
yes,
Inside the
first,
function
first,
element.
first it's going to look inside the current scope. If it's not available, it's go for the parent scope.
Global.
Parent global like this things. It's go, I explained the scope chain, right? So current scope, next global scope, like this, it's keep on looking for the variable lookup. Understood?
Yes, sir.
There's no issue. Okay, so inside the same inside the function you can use the same one, but inside the same function do not use x and x2 types. The variable should not be duplicated because
Okay.
both are living in the same scope. So again, in the global scope you should not use x and x again and again because it's duplicated. Already x been declared in the globally. Again, if you try to declare it, so it will throw error. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, so basically I am taking an array, complete array, I am passing as an argument, I will receive it as a numbers. Now tell me, so x here, so x is equal to 2 3 4 5, right? X is equal to 2 3 4 5. If I use 3 dots here, now tell me, it's an spread operator or rest pattern? It's basically spread operator because not spread, it's a spread operator because right side of the equals operator I'm using this. Understood? Technically, what exactly is passing here, right? The values like 2 3 4 5 like in just an arguments. Now this function doesn't work because number is no more array this time. Number is no more array. This it's not an array. Numbers is not an array now, because I will completely take all the elements of array and I will just spread it like this: 2, 3, 4, 5. Understood? Now, so I am passing as an only the list like 2, 3, 4, 5 without any array, but I am receiving as a single value, right? Single value. Now, if I use 3 dots here, okay, now tell me it's a spread operator or rest pattern. It's a rest. Means what I'm trying to do here is I am technically collecting all the spreaded items. I'll create an array here. If you use 3 dots in the arguments, it's a spread operator. If you use same 3 dots in the parameter, it's a rest pattern in function. You'll see these things while working with React. You'll see a lot of things.
Sir, 1 second, repeat, sir.
Okay. Okay, so if I pass an argument, argument is a value, right? Basically, technically, argument is a value. So when I'm pointing x here, so technically, I am passing 2, 3, 4, 5. If I use 3 dots in the argument, okay, basically, I'm using 3 dots in the right side of the equals operator, right? It's a right side of the equals operator. So exactly it's like these things. I am just spreading all the elements of an array. Understood? If I spread it, so it will take all the elements of an array and it is going to put it independently without any array, right? So technically I'm passing 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Now numbers is no more array, because I can't able to iterate over, because I'm just passing like these things, regular arguments 2, 3, 4, 5 without array, but I'm expecting to iterate over like an array, but it doesn't work because numbers is no more iterable in this time. Okay, numbers will take only 2 now. You can go and check, because the first argument will take the first parameter, right? Now it doesn't work. Okay, so that's the reason. So I want to collect all the arguments and I want to create a array. So means I'm using 3 dots left side of the equals operator. Okay, I'm using 3 dots left side of the equals operator. So that's the reason. See, if I use 3 dots in the argument, so in the arguments of a function, if I use 3 dots, it's a spread operator. In the parameter position, so if I use 3 dots, it's a rest pattern. See, don't expect, so I should always destructure. So if you use this thing, see, so now basically I'm technically collecting all the elements. Now others includes India and Italy also. Let's put in A is not defined. Okay, yeah. A and B is not defined now. See, I am collecting all the elements of an array and creates another brand new array inside an others variable. So it is also the same thing. So here, if I am using spread operator, so 3 dots, it's a spread operator in the arguments position. If I use 3 dots in the same in the parameter position, basically I'm collecting all the arguments of an array and creating a array. Understood? Any doubts now? Online.
No, sir.
Sir, if you use in function, it is a rest parameter, right, sir?
Come again?
If you use 3 dots in a function, it is a rest parameter.
Not function. Of course, I'm using 3 dots in the 2 times 3 dots in the same function. See, at what position? This is an argument, right? What do we call? It's an argument of a function. This is an parameter. If I use 3 dots at argument, it's a spread operator. If if I use same three dots in the parameter position, it's in rest pattern. Understood?
Got it.
Okay, so guys, try to revise because we are covering a lot of concepts every day. Okay, try to revise. Reinforcement is most important every day. So whenever you get a time, so try to start revision from the beginning. Okay, try to start revision from the beginning of the concepts, like from the fundamentals. Okay, let and const variable declaration, try to revision. So how many times you do revision, you'll get an more grip on the language. Because so of course, so learning, while learning we'll go, it's a common thing, we're gonna forget. So we're gonna forget a lot of things. Okay, try to revise the concepts every day. Okay, wherever you find difficulties, so try to concentrate on the same concepts. Okay, so if you have difficulties, come back to me again. So whenever I get a time, I will ping you. Okay, so just ping me. So if you facing any anywhere in the code, okay, anywhere in the concepts, yeah, any concepts, I can re-explain again once again if you want. Okay, try to revise the concepts. One second.
जल्दी खाली हो गया आप